Hello and welcome to In the Wall with me, Parker Kligerman. This is our 6th episode. How exciting that we've made it 6 episodes. Remember, this show is all about you. Please write in using hashtag InTheWall on Twitter, Instagram, wherever. We'll find it and it will end up on this show. Also, I'm excited because I'm heading to race the Roval this weekend in my number 96 Gaunt Brothers Racing Toyota Camry. So that's going to be awesome. I'm very much looking forward to that. But let's jump into the news happening in the racing world. Just breaking shortly before we made this episode, Roush Fenway Racing has announced that Chris Buescher will replace Ricky Stenhouse Jr. next season in the 17 car. You have to think this is a reaction to Ricky Stenhouse maybe not having one of his best seasons. His teammate Ryan Newman over there making the playoffs. Meanwhile, Chris Buescher is having an absolutely career season in that JTG Daughtry 37 car in terms of consistency. Knowing his relationship with Roush Fenway, this makes a lot of sense and probably is a move by Roush Fenway looking at the future and the performances that Chris Buescher has been putting in. Also making a move is Christopher Bell in the worst, I guess, kept secret ever. He's officially heading to the 95 at Levine Family Racing. I can't say that ever. Something that had been rumored for a while. As I said, I was speaking to him basically at Vegas about him going to Cup and some of the things he was experiencing. So everyone knew this was going to happen. In the world of Formula One, Haas driver Kevin Magnussen was forced to pit in the final laps of last Sunday's Singapore Grand Prix because of a plastic bag. He actually asked people if they enjoyed the sandwich. I thought that was pretty nice of him to do, considering it basically ruined his race. But his race wasn't over because the story doesn't end there. A couple of writers from sports betting site Covers decided to put money on a long shot bet. They had Kevin Magnussen at 1,001 to 1 for fastest lap in the Singapore Grand Prix. And after he had to pit because of the plastic bag, Magnussen made the fastest lap at the end. One of the writers wound up winning $30,000 in Canadian dollars, which is a little over $22,500 in American. That's awesome. And that's why we love sports betting. In the world of late model star Bubba Pollard, sorry, easy for me to say, will compete for Junior Motorsports at Martinsville on October 5th. This is really cool because he's the type of guy so well known in the short track scene. You would think he might, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, have gotten that opportunity maybe in an XFINITY car or maybe in a truck series situation. But that doesn't really exist anymore, so it's cool to see Junior Motorsports giving him that opportunity at a top-level organization at the level that he's so good at. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Also happening at the Roval, newly crowned IndyCar champion Joseph Newgarden will take laps on the Roval this weekend in Charlotte in an IndyCar. This is interesting because all we've been hearing is that these two series, NASCAR, IndyCar, they want to sort of do something together maybe in the future. Could this be a test? Could this be just them maybe seeing if an IndyCar could go around the Roval? I know the answer will be it absolutely can, because we'll get into that a little later. Or will we enter it now? You know what? Let's talk about that right now. See, the Roval is this weekend, and I need to get something off my chest. I loved this event last year, but my reason may not be what you think it is. See, I loved what this event represented. It was innovative and full out-of-the-box thinking. Yes, I know that race series have raced on Rovals before, a la the 24 Hours of Daytona, but the track design wasn't even the part that was the most innovative. It was SMI and NASCAR agreeing to simply do something different. I'd like to make a comparison to F1 here, but in F1 as of late, this wouldn't be such a shocking thing for them to add a crazy, unique racetrack. Look no further than the straightaway at Baku. That is the length of basically Alabama. In NASCAR, though, about 20 years ago, someone or some almighty racetrack god decided that tracks had to follow a set of conventions. They had to be a set of certain lengths. There were only a couple available shapes, and innovation was the color you painted the grandstand seats. Made no sense. This way of thinking seemed to seep into all motorsports in the ensuing years. When a great street course or racetrack idea was pitched to a series, the first thing people would fight back with was, can you possibly race there? As if the series would turn up to the track and suddenly think they were actually a pineapple and not a race series at all. Many years ago, I tried to fight back at this way of thinking with a column at Jalopnik, where I told people how not to build a racetrack. I was fed up with Herman Tilke drones and harkened back to the days of places like Motorsports being built by a man and a bulldozer. And a couple years later, I wrote an open letter to Eddie Gossage when Texas Motor Speedway was being repaved, pleading him to do something different. I offered ideas like having one single groove next to the wall banked at a different amount than the bottom, and the distance between the two would make them equal. I thought that'd be awesome. I said we could add a right-hand turn down the backstretch, like the long-gone Trenton Raceway. He responded, but they weren't willing to truly step out of the box, so we got a flat turn one and a ton of asphalt that will never get used like at Kentucky because the top groove has no banking. It's definitely different. I'm just not sure it was better what we got. The fact is, one of motorsports' coolest advantages over other sports is that our playing field changes every week. So when the Roval came around, the armchair experts started their normal rhetoric. Can they possibly race there? I mean, come on. In which my buddy Steve O'Tart had the funniest response of all. He goes, people are acting like we're going to show up and suddenly lose gravity. Guess what? This is going to shock you. We didn't. And then the Roval sold more tickets, and the TV ratings grew. And I smiled, and I so dearly wanted to be in it because the sport I love, in one swift move, finally remembered there is no almighty racetrack design god. Give us a start-finish line and some cars, and we'll find a way to race it. If you agree, please use hashtag in the wall and let us know. I'm sure if you disagree, you'll let us know in the comments below because that's what you do on the internet. But all I know is, and then there's this. Right, reaching into the depths of social media, we found some thoughts that needed our attention. That's the point of this, using hashtag in the wall. Thank you very much. That's how you do get on the show and reach out to us and get my opinion, which apparently is worth something since you're actually going to use the hashtag to do it. First, we start in the world of Reddit. User Hackersloth dove into a fantasy topic. No, not that type of fantasy. I know it's the internet and that's scary. But he said, I'm making travel plans to stay in either the Netherlands or Belgium in March 2020 to spectate various races. That sounds awesome. He said, for example, Spa, Zolder, Zandvoort, Nürburgring, etc. Anyone have experience doing this and have suggestions? So I'm sure he got some great responses. That's pretty cool. All I know is it made me think, what would be my ultimate racing vacation? And I'd have to say it's two words that start with M. It'd be Monaco and Monza. I mean, how can you get better than that? I got to go to those places. I've been to Spa. I've actually driven on Spa. That was an awesome experience. But Monaco and Monza, and especially Monza and the crowd, and just if Ferrari were to win, I think that'd be a pretty cool experience. So I want to do that sometime. Next, we have a phone question here. Well, that's an odd thing to say. It wasn't actually from the phone. It's what was written on the phone. And that is from Chris Stott, who, after Lewis Hamilton smashing my phone on Friday first practice, he went and actually signed it. So the question is, if he sends that back to Apple, will they consider that more damage or vandalism, or will it be worth more for a trade-in? Because I just tried to trade in an iPhone the other day, and they weren't having it. They said it had water damage or something. I don't know. That's Apple. They never help out. Pretty cool, though. I'd keep that phone. We have another one out there in terms of what we do with the trophy. What do we do with the trophy here? So Jeremy asks, what is the Champions Trophy going to be called now? MLB has the Commissioner's Trophy. NFL has the Lombardi. NHL has the Stanley Cup. IndyCar has the Astor Cup, I think. So NASCAR, without it being the Monster Energy Cup next year, if we don't have a title sponsor or one title sponsor, what will it be called? I'm going to nominate something really unique and different, the Cup. Think about it. It's just the Cup. I think this is what it should be. Because we call it the Cup Series. Why wouldn't you win just the Cup? All right, and our last question here is from Anthony Dietrich. I want to see NASCAR move towards golf approach for their senior tour. I'd love to see some of the old guys come out once a month and race short tracks or road courses. 50-year-old plus older guys would probably be down every now and then. So, cool concept, super cool concept, except I remember us trying this, I want to say it was around 2010, 2011 time at Bristol, and they had it in basically late model cars, and some older veterans came out, and there was a horrible wreck. And I remember I think we almost injured someone, or even worse. And so I, at that point, realized, race car driving is one of those things that you should probably be in your prime doing until you stop, and then maybe you go race historic cars. Also, I hear the Goodwood Historics is pretty cool. I've always wanted to go there too. So if I ever don't have to do this show and have time to myself, maybe I'll have that chance to go there. Therefore, that's it from us. Use hashtag in the wall or hit me directly on Twitter, Instagram, at P. Kligerman. Be a part of the show. Remember to subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel and check out NBCSports.com for more motorsports content. Thanks for watching. I'm just going to chill with Dave. Thanks.